Oh, I was going to say bad snitch getting. There you go.
Big Major.
I love this Too Short feature. Wiz
So
Khalifa,
good.
Old Wiz.
So good.
So good. Taylor Gang.
I actually could make an argument that half of his top 10 best songs are on someone else's song. Kind of like Nate Dogg in
Yeah.
For Too Short.
Yeah.
Even though he's got some classics.
T-Pain.
But his most notable ones, at least especially the younger crowd, because you guys didn't buy all the old albums. You didn't have Cocktails and Born to Mac or any of those.
I wasn't a big album guy, because I grew up with the iPod MP3 generation, so I can just get individual songs.
Yeah. So then all the songs that Short have are features.
Yeah, so I used to just grab all those individual, and it's like, oh, did you get so-and-so? I was like, no, because albums have 10 songs I really don't care about. I want the hits, right? I want the bangers.
Do you know what his oldest, his number one quote-unquote song in terms of streams and money, that it was when he was 42 years old.
Yeah. It's wild. Well, that happens with a lot of rappers, right? Later in their career, when they finally get to the mainstream public and stuff like that, and those songs hit, like E40, stuff like that. That's what happened, right? He finally hit mainstream, 06, 07, it felt like.
Technically, if we really want to get real bogged down in the weeds here.
Bogdanovich.
I would say 95, 96, he had a couple of songs that were very big because Tupac had come out and he was on California Love.
I was 3, so maybe I can speak to that.
I know. But those were lower level MTV jams, BET hits.
Sure.
That weren't on the level of obviously. Tell me when to go
was the one, because that was in every single middle school, high school dance for me. So
that became much more, But the one with him is Short. I'm in the traffic. What's upper? I don't know if you know that one.
If I hear it, I'm a beat guy, Shasky. So if I hear it, I'm really awful with lyrics. My whole life, I thought so and so was saying this, and then my friend checked me no, dude.
It's the one with Casey and JoJo, basically.
Okay, all right.
Players Ball.
Sure. Take your word for it. That's Joe Shasky. He's joining me for the crossover right now.
I'm kind of
right here on the pregame show on 95.7 The Game.
Kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal. Ron Burgundy over here. And speaking of kind of a big deal, the San Francisco Giants' first 10-game winning streak since 2004. And Joe, off air, we're just talking about, dude, what the hell were we doing in 2004? Some things we can't say on air, but man, 18 years it's been, which is kind of crazy to think about, because this team's won 3 World Series, Joe. 18 years? It's been that long?
10 games is hard.
It is.
It's really
hard.
But
I feel like the A's have done that a couple of times. Like not good teams in the past have done that.
You also had the Astros.
Well, the
losing
A's just won 7 straight and just lost 7 straight. So there's that. But then you have, they're not even the longest current streak in the league.
I know the Reds 11.
Reds have won 11.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy. And there's kind of this interesting comparison I'm doing with both these teams. We'll get to that another time.
Oh, I'd like to hear that.
But it's just just a little thing.
Joey Votto is being played by Brandon Crawford.
Oh my God, Joey Votto. I was actually thinking about him, and that's a conversation for another time. Hall of Famer to you, by the way, Joey Votto.
So it's hard because I look at him and Todd Helton in almost the same boat.
Yeah.
You're the best player on a team for a decade plus.
Yeah.
You're one of their signature players for multiple generations.
But if that team hasn't been that good,
no, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But him and Todd Helton, I put in the same bucket. To me, Todd Helton's a Hall of Famer. When I watched Todd Helton, I was clearly a cut above everyone. Everyone in the league would love to have him. Maybe he doesn't have those impactful moments, but you can't write the history of the Reds or the Rockies without including Todd Helton and Joey Votto. So, do you get what I'm saying? I want fans to feel included in the Hall of Fame, but that's the way I'm doing it.
No, totally not. Well, the Hall of Fame,
I know.
Baseball Hall of Fame, non-inclusive is probably the tagline it should be, because my goodness, no one gets in now unless your name is Scott Rowland. It's just come on. Over Barry Bonds, over Mark McGwire, over.
You can make the argument Scott Rowland wasn't even the best third baseman at any point in his career of his own generation.
But Shasky, look at the stats. What did they look at the end of the day? Okay, the play that everyone's going to talk about. Let's just get right into it.
Yeah.
The catcher's obstruction. What were your thoughts when it happened, when the call was called, when the Giants challenged it, all that, eventually leading to Bob Melvin blowing up and getting ejected?
Joe, I think the number one criticism of the modern era in every single aspect of life is the lack of do you get it?
Yeah.
Okay? There's the letter of the law, and then there's the spirit of the rule, right? And so in this case, to me, this is a clear disconnect between the letter of the law and the spirit of the rule. So here's what I would say to everyone. There's a play at the plate. Catcher catches the ball. Ball beats him. To me, 5 to 8 steps. That's a lot. That's getting hosed.
Yes.
That means you could almost slow up and still get tagged.
He was clearly out by a mile.
Exactly. So let's play this thing out. To me, why was the rule put in place? to protect the catchers, which is totally, I'm here for it. And I will defend this till the fullest because these half-shell hockey helmets they wear, they have no padding in the back. They're wearing ball deflective gear, not collision gear. Like anybody who's ever been in the squat would know that that gear is not for, like, it's not like football gear, okay? I've argued with Damon forever about this. Like, Damon, put the gear on and go underneath behind the plate, and you tell me if I could run into you at full steam after I've gotten 180 feet lead. You know what I mean? Like, that's protective gear. No. So it was put in place to protect the catchers. Was there a lane? No. You know why? Because the ball beat him by 5 to 8 steps.
Yeah.
Okay? And in baseball fashion, when there's a bad mistake, a bad error, a bad call by an umpire, what happens on the very next play? Bang! A single by Jock Peterson and 2-run score that shouldn't have scored. It's like poetic justice. It happens all the time in baseball. So to me, like, everyone's going to talk about the window, the lane. And look, by the letter of the law, are they right? Probably. But when the ball beats you by that much, the guy's hosed. He has possession of the ball. The catcher goes to make it, and the throw kind of leads him into it, which is a whole nother aspect that we can get into. Here's what I would say to people. Remove throw from the outfield. Let's say that throw comes from first base, all right? And you get the guy in a rundown, all right? You get the guy in a rundown. Is the catcher supposed to move 2 steps to the right as he's chasing down the runner to give him a lane to come back home?
The rundown aspect.
You have the ball in your hand.
I never thought about it like that. That's a great point. Like, where's the line, if you will? Like, if I have the ball and he's taking,
you have the ball.
It's taking a couple seconds for him to get, like, what are we doing here?
But again, common sense.
He's clearly in front of him still. So, like, why do I have to move out of the way, creating a path for this guy? Well, my whole objective is to get him out.
Exactly.
Like, what are we doing here?
So now at second base, at second base, you usually see a shortstop or second baseman. They receive the throw on a steal in front of the bag, right? They want to be glove hand side closer to the bag, to the tip of the bag, and so that the throw leads them right into the runner, right? And it's for safety purposes, right? But if the ball beats the guy, all right, you'll see a guy jump in front of the bag, 2-hand tag a guy. It's the same element at home plate for me, right? In this case. And here's the other thing. There was a tiny window on the outside that you could have slid by and threw the hand as you go past the bag. Look, on 4 different levels, to me, common sense should have prevailed. The Padres got screwed.
Yeah, and
I'm just being real.
And you know what?
My baseball sensibilities, I said to myself, where's the common sense?
There's the common sense aspect. Like, the Padres have a right to be mad, but also the Padres. When you got Manny Machado tagging from second to third on a pop up, like, what the hell are we doing, dude? Like, they deserve to lose. The Giants, they've been so damn hot. They're going to get these calls. You know what? That's just how the breaks go sometimes. The Padres are scuffling. These calls aren't going to go your way. And actually, it's kind of funny because I feel like more often than not, Bob Melvin has actually gotten, even in his time in Oakland, he's never gotten the benefit of that with a lot of these calls. He's gotten screwed a lot of times following Bo Mel with these instant replay challenges. Like, his record has got to be one of the worst in the league. But he's got a right to be pissed. I mean, he's a former catcher.
Yes.
He's seen it all. He's been through those dog days where he's gotten blown up multiple times. And now we're in a space, and it's kind of funny because that's where the rule all started, right? Scott Cousins, Buster Posey. And then
by the way, I ran into Scott Cousins at a golf thing a couple months back. He's a really good dude.
Is he a good dude?
Yeah, I really feel bad that, like, we constantly associate his name with this thing, like on the real, like a human element. I legitimately feel bad for he's a good dude.
I don't think it's any like. Well, when I think of Scott Cousins,
his Major League Baseball life.
Yeah, when I think of Scott Cousins, I don't think of like a malicious act. No. I think of that represented a time in baseball that ended. Like, I don't associate him with being a dirty player. No.
I feel legitimately like guilty for like the way society ran him. Like, his name is dragged through the mud. Like, it's not even your fault. I'm just saying the way we do the name association.
I look at a guy like, and I'm being a homer here. Like, I look at what Pete Rose did to Ray Fosse in the All-Star game.
Way more malicious.
Way more malicious. It's like in an All-Star game, he tried to kill the guy and they separated his shoulder. Yes. And we saw that's hustle right there. I was like, dude, you just ruined a guy's career. Right
exactly.
There. Like Buster Posey, went on to go probably a Hall of Famer career after that. So it is what it is. But as we shift from baseball to the NBA draft, Joe Shasky, and what took place last night, and it's starting to get heated. It's starting to get exciting. Trades are happening. Kristaps Porzingis, he's a Celtic. Tyus Jones, he's a Wizard. Marcus Smart, he's a Memphis Grizzly. Joe Shasky, things are getting hot and heavy. Are the Warriors going to make a pick tonight?
Can I ask a question?
What's going on?
Since when did Kristaps Porzingis become the missing link for like 50 teams?
His name's on the list.
Since when
We
did
got-
Warrior fans...
Got to cross him out, by the way.
I mean, when we played him, they were like, he's weak. He can't guard anyone. Expose him. Like, I literally listened to Azubuike. Expose him. Expose him. Over and over and over again. And Warrior fans are like, he can't guard anyone. And I'm saying to myself, now all of a sudden he's the miss. And look, he's a solid player. Like, fine, whatever. Was he really making or breaking the Warriors or all these teams? Like, do you really view Boston that differently now that they've got Kristaps
Well, it's
Porzingis?
interesting.
Am I tripping?
Because
I mean, he's solid.
he can score. Like, I can see why the Celtics are like, they need a big guy that can score because Al Horford
Yeah, stretch the floor.
40 years old or
Yeah.
whatever it is. Robert Williams doesn't score. Like, that's
And
just
his
not what he
legs
does.
shot.
And his legs are shot. Like, so you need a guy that can do that. Getting rid of Marcus Smart is interesting because now that I look from that angle and compare him to what the Warriors are going through, would you agree that
interesting.
Marcus Smart is the heart and soul of that defensive team?
Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart. He's the defensive anchor. He's the DPOY. He's their defensive stud.
Yeah, but he's
right?
so erratic offensively that I think that they need a true point guard to be able to facilitate, to take some of the pressure off of the ISO ball heavy game that Tatum and Brown play, in my opinion.
Is it too much of a stretch to compare what's going on with Marcus Smart to what's going on with Draymond Green and the Golden State Warriors?
Yeah, I don't.
Is that a stretch?
Because Dre's was so much more
I understand
legacy driven.
The playmaking aspect of
know.
Draymond on
Okay.
offense is better than Marcus
Here's what I
Smart.
would say. I haven't even considered that portion. I'm gonna have to soak that in before I can like break that down. I just look at Memphis and I'm like, okay, I get it. You want to replace maybe some of that Dylan Brooks
Yes.
element with Marcus Smart.
Much better player.
Tyus Jones was so good.
He was.
I mean, Warrior fans saw him up close and personal when Ja was out, and he cooked the Warriors.
He did, but he also, Tyus Jones and Bonte alluded to this in the chat, he got cooked by Dennis Schroeder in that Lakers
For
series.
sure.
Like, he did. So, like, and that's the team you're going to
But
have to
he's a
face.
backup.
That's the thing. Marcus Smart's going to be a starter. Like, so, like, and you're looking at
here's
that
what
level.
I was thinking, like, well, is
6 man?
Kuzma and Tyus Jones now on the move? Do you package those? Like, if you're Washington? Because it looks like to me Washington's in a complete rebuild mode.
Yeah, they didn't even get a first round pick.
It's
for
very
any-
weird.
It's very like Bradley. No first round picks. Like, what are you doing?
I don't really get it.
Travis Schlenke.
Is he over there?
Yeah, he's over there now.
I didn't even know that. Wow,
Maybe
I-
Steiny's going to have that Wizards gear. Let's see.
Steiny's
Maybe he'll bring it to
gonna-
the station. Yeah.
the Wes Unseld throwback.
Oh my god.
I mean, she's.
I'm trying to think of other John Wall. Like, who else do they have? Like, are we going Washington Bullets? By the way, that's a sick ass nick. I understand today's society.
Yes.
You can't have like the Colt 45s or
Oh,
whatever.
bro, the jerseys were sick.
But the Bullets, like,
So
that was a
sick.
sick ass name.
It really
Can't you
was.
talk about that anymore?
Colt
but-
45s.
Oh, so sick. I love that stuff.
Defunct names that we all love.
At 88.957.